Math 1111 study guide for the Module 1 quiz. This is the second video, part 2. Number 11 is an application problem involving an inequality. John has grades of 81 and 93 on his first two history tests. What must he score on his third test so that his average is at least 85? So we'll let X be the third test. And you know, when you're taking the average, you're just taking the regular average or mean of your test scores or homework. You add the scores together, and then you divide by the number of scores you have. So John has 3, so we'll divide this by 3. And at least 85, that means he could score 85 on the third test, or actually greater than that. So because he can score 85 or better, then we use greater than or equal to. Now our inequality is set up. The next step, eliminate the fraction by multiplying both sides of your inequality by 3. On the left side, the 3's cancel. And let's go ahead and add the 81 and 93 together. That would be 174 plus X is greater than or equal to 255. And the last step, just subtract 174 from both sides. And we get the inequality X greater than or equal to 81. So the correct answer is C. He must score 81 or more on his third test. Next question. Number 12, 2 minor league baseball players got a total of 310 hits. Washington had 2 more hits than Sanchez. Find the number of hits for each player. So we'll let Sanchez be H. And Washington had 2 more hits than Sanchez. So we can represent their hitting as H plus 2. So together they got a total of 310 hits. So Sanchez plus Washington equal to 310. Our equation is set up, ready to solve. Combine the h's, that gives us 2h plus 2 equal to 310. Next step, subtract 2 from both sides. And we get 2h equal to 308. And last step, divide both sides by 2. So H is equal to 154. Well, that's how many hits Sanchez had. And Washington had 2 more hits than Sanchez. So 154 plus 2 gives us the number of hits for Washington. Question 13, find the solution set. for the given absolute value equation. Step 1, get the absolute value of x part by itself by adding 9 to both sides. So we have absolute value of x equal to a positive 4. And we can actually solve this because our absolute value is equal to a positive number, and that satisfies the definition of absolute value. So we break down our absolute value equation into two linear equations. First equation is just x equal to 4. And the second equation is just x equal to negative 4. So your solution set A will be negative 4 and positive 4. Question 14. Randall wants to mix 26 pounds of nuts worth $1 per pound with some nuts worth $8 per pound to make a mixture worth $7 per pound. How many pounds of $8 nuts must he use? Give me 1 second. I want to copy and paste the given table so we can complete the table. All right, so let me enlarge it so we'll have room to fill in everything. And again, this is question 14. Now, 26 pounds of nuts that cost $1 per pound. The total cost would be 26 times 1, or $26. The amount of nuts at $8 per pound, we don't know that amount. That's labeled X. So the cost would be 8 times X. And then this missing cell, we're mixing the nuts together. So mixing means adding the pounds together. So 26 plus X is the expression 26 plus X. Now this last cell in the third column, you just go straight across and multiply. So that would be 7 times 26 plus X. So we can use, sorry about that, my phone was going off. So we can use the last equation to, the last column to build the equation. So we have 26 plus 8x equal to 7 times 26 plus x. And now we can use this particular equation to find the unknown amount. So we have our equation ready to solve. On the right side, distribute that 7. So bring down the left-hand side. And 7 times 26 is 182. And 7 times x is 7x. The next step, move all your x's on one side and your integers on the other side. I'm going to move the 7x to the left side. So I need to subtract 7x. Remember, we're doing opposites. And then in the same step, we can move the 26 to the right-hand side by subtracting 26 from each side. So our final answer is 156 pounds. Excuse me. So the table really helps you solve or set up and solve your equation. The next problem. Therefore, Randall must use 156 pounds of 8-pound nuts. Question 15, solve for x. So we have 3x over 4 plus 7x over 2 equal to positive 17. Step 1, get rid of the fractions. And first of all, find the least common denominator. The least common denominator is 4. So to get rid of the fractions, just multiply every part of your equation by 4, or by the least common denominator. Now the first part, the 4's cancel, leaving you with 3x. In the middle, 2 can go into 4 2 times, and then 2 times 7x is 14x. And on the right side, nothing cancels, just multiply 17 by 4 to get 68. Now we have a pretty routine equation to solve. So when we combine our like terms, we get 17x equal to 68. And finally, when we divide both sides by 17, our answer is x equal to 4. Question 16. For the following compound inequality, give the solution set in both interval and graph forms. The first step, let's graph both of these on our number line, since there's nothing to solve really. And at both numbers, we need brackets since we have greater than or equal to. And because our arrows greater than or equal to are pointing to the right, then each shading will go to the right as well. So here we have it for -5. And then here it is for +6. Now the key word is or, and or means you include everything. So that means we start from -5 brackets, and since we're going towards positive forever, we use positive infinity. So that is our solution set in interval form. And which of the following graphs represents the solution set of the given compound inequality? And it looks like C is the correct graph. So remember, or means you include everything, and is intersection, or where the colors overlap each other. Question 17 is a geometry problem. Two angles whose sum is 180 degrees are supplementary angles. Find the measure of the supplementary angles shown in the figure. So the 12x plus 2 degrees is our larger angle. And then the 7x plus 7 degrees is our smaller angle. So if they form a straight line, they're equal to 180 degrees. So we have the larger angle plus the smaller angle equal to 180 degrees. Just like that, we have our equation ready to solve. So we need to combine our x's and also our integers. So we have on the left side 19x plus 9 equal to 180. The next step is subtract 9 from both sides. So we have 19x equal to 171. And the last step, divide both sides by 19. Now be careful, do not put 9 as your answer. We need to find each angle. So the larger angle, in place of x, plug in 9. So that is 108 plus 2. So the larger angle is 110 degrees. To find the smaller angle, you do the same thing. Replace x with 9. So 63 plus 7 is 70 degrees. Question 18. In this year, the average cost of a traditional Thanksgiving dinner for 10, featuring all the traditional Thanksgiving fixings, was $48.21, a decrease of 1.05% from the cost in the last year. What was the average cost of a traditional Thanksgiving dinner in the last year? So we will let x equal to last year's cost, and 1.05% x is this year's cost. Now, the full cost, that means 100%. So for last year, that means that's 100% x. Now, the keyword decreased means subtraction. So we have 100% x, last year's, minus 1.05% x, this year's. And that's equal to this year's cost, $48.21. Now, before you continue, you must change each percent to a decimal. 100% does not have a decimal point, but it's assumed to be at the end. And you scoot each decimal point 2 places to the left. So that leaves us with 1x minus 0.0105x equal to 48.21. On the left-hand side, combine your x's. So just subtract your decimal from 1, and that gives us 0.9895x equal to the right-hand side. And divide both sides by the 0.9895. And let me pull up my calculator to show you what answer we'll get. So 4821 divided by 0.9895. And to the nearest cent, that will be $48.72. So that was last year's cost. All right, next question is a basic linear inequality problem. Solve the inequality giving its solution set in both interval and graph form. So we have the inequality, and we're trying to solve for d, or kind of get d by itself. On the left side, distribute that 10 times everything in the parentheses. So that would be 40d. And then 10 times negative 6 is negative 60. There's nothing we can do to the right-hand side but bring it down. Now combine your d's on the left side, giving us 12d minus 60 is less than 12d plus 7. Now we need to get all the d's on one side, so let's subtract 12d from both sides. Now, both sets of 12d's actually cancel out, leaving you with the expression negative 60 is less than 7. Now think about this for a minute. Negative 60 is always going to be less than 7, so this is a true statement. And if we think about it a little further, or a little deeper, that means that every single number on the number line, no matter what we pick for d to plug into our original inequality, everything on the number line works. So if everything on the number line works, then the whole number line is represented by going from negative infinity to positive infinity. So that is our solution set. And over here, choose the correct graph. Well, negative infinity to positive infinity means the entire number line is covered. So choice D is the correct graph for number 19. The last question on the study guide for the Module 1 quiz, we have to solve a 3-part inequality and give the solution set in both interval and graph form. So we have the 3-part inequality given here. Now we need to get negative 2x by itself, so we need to subtract or move the 6 to the other side. But since we have a 3-part inequality, then you're going to subtract 6 from all 3 parts. So we have negative 10 is less than or equal to negative 2x, less than 6. We're still trying to get x by itself. So we need to divide all 3 parts by negative 2. That gives us 5. Now remember, when you divide or multiply parts of an inequality by a negative number or negative fraction, then the given inequality symbols will change to their opposite or reciprocal. So that less than or equal to will turn around as greater than or equal to, and the less than will turn around as greater than now. Now, we've never had this happen before. Yeah, 5 is greater than negative 3, but we cannot graph this on our number line with our numbers in that order. So what you do is just write this down on a sheet of paper, what I just circled, with a magic marker, and then turn the sheet of paper around. Now when you turn the sheet of paper around, then it's going to look like negative 3 is less than x is less than or equal to 5. It's just taking something and just spinning it, turning it around. Now we can graph it on our number line. For negative 3, we'll have just parentheses because it's just strictly less than, I'm sorry. And then 5 will have brackets. And because x is in between our two numbers, that's where the solution goes. So that's where we shade everything in between negative 3 and 5. So the correct graph is actually, it looks like D again. Yeah, D is the correct graph. And to get our answer in interval notation, whatever's on your graph for this problem, you just bring it down like it is. Same order with the numbers, and same parentheses and brackets. This concludes going over the study guide for the Module 1 quiz. If y'all have any questions or concerns about anything in the course, you got my email address and my cell number, so please reach out to me. Thank you and take care.